Of course, when it comes to watching anime and or playing games, most of the time I always go with the English dub. Again, most of the games that say come from Japan, like for example like JRPGs and stuff like that, if they get a dub, I'd probably pick that. A majority of the reason why I say pick dubs is because of the fact that like I grew up with them a lot more than I did with subs. Of course, when I was growing up, I grew up in Canada, so a lot of times, I saw the dub. And say if I were to watch an anime, again, when I was growing up, I always saw like a handful. Most of them were on TV. And if I went outside on the internet, go find it, I'd probably only watch like one dubbed, one subbed because the other one didn't have a sub. No, the other one to have a dub. But again, like most of the time, it was the dubbed version. Again, I've actually don't mind subs. In a lot of cases, I actually kind of like them, and some voice actors I like will probably be All Might's voice actor, which is Kenta Miyake. I'm probably sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And another one would probably have to be Aaron's voice actor from Attack on Titan, the subbed one. I can't remember his name right now, but I'm just saying that I really liked him. Yes, of course, this is all subjective in the case of like even with anime and games, but like I know a lot of fans usually just go with the sub since in a lot of cases that's the first one that comes out. Honestly, I do too, because when My Hero Academia started airing, of course it went subbed. I watched it in the sub, but it didn't get a dub. It didn't start airing for the dub at the same time as sub until like season 2. Even though that stopped, and I eventually had to switch to sub. But of course that there's a lot of other anime that are doing like this. For example, I know Hinamaru Sumo. I've talked about in a previous video. That one's actually started getting dubbed from what I noticed, but again, that's like 4 episodes. That's like 4 episodes or 3 episodes behind. So I'm not gonna stop watching. I'm just gonna continue on watching in the sub. But again, most subs, it just comes down to personal preference. Of course, not everyone will like a dub because, again, there's the stigma of saying, oh, well, dubs are low quality and dubs are really bad. But, like, with the voices, I say, like, in more recent times, it's gotten a lot better, honestly, in my opinion, because, I've seen a lot more dubs. And then, even back then, there were some quality dubs. Like, I know Gurren Lagann, which is my favorite anime of all time. It actually has a really good dub, and I rather prefer that over the sub. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just like a lot of the voices I prefer. And again, this also comes down to like say the translation of it, because of course translation is going to be iffy no matter what. And frankly, if it makes sense, like say 95 to even like say 90% of the time, and I'd still say it's a good thing. It's a good job in my opinion. And say if it's again for games, if there's an option to switch, I probably wouldn't switch. I just stick with the dub. And usually in a lot of cases, the dub is, again, I've probably been saying this over and over, but in a lot of cases, the dub is at least decent with the voices. But of course, like, say if, maybe I might switch once in a while, or maybe I might not, I don't know. It's just, I guess it usually just depends. Of course, that's basically been why I like dubs over subs, just because, I grew up with it, and I just naturally prefer to listen to the English voices and mostly just pay attention on the animation and like stuff like that. With games, it's a little bit different since I can still like do the same thing because no matter what, I'm still reading. But that's basically been why I like dubs. In the comments below, say which language option you prefer. Like even it doesn't have to be Japanese and English. It can be say like other dubs. It's just which one do you prefer and why, and just don't be a dick about it. Okay, this is been Vike and see you guys later.